Hi guys, my name is Ian. This is my DRZ modification video, DRZ modifications video, depending upon where you live. I've had this DRZ for 18 months now. I've done about 6,000 miles on it. I'm currently in northern Spain in the Pyrenees Mountains, having driven down from England. I, as I said, would like to drive 1,000 miles on the road with camping kit, top box, tent, sleeping bag. I'd then like to get to the dirt. I'd like to take the panniers off, the top box off, and drive on the dirt, on the mud, on the trails. So it's true dual sport. I'll use my GoPro. I'll start at the front, work to the back, and show you some modifications. First things first would be my tyre choice. Yes, these are Helenu K60 Scouts, and this is the tread, and if I put my finger in it'll give you an idea. Can't fault them on the road, and on the dirt they seem to be very competent on the dirt. This is dry dirt, this isn't muddy wet dirt. I did this same trip 12 months ago and I did it on a standard disc on the front with luggage. I found it extremely underbraked. I've changed it for this oversized floating disc. It gives you masses more confidence because you can stop so much quicker. You get the disc, you also have to get this extension bracket to offset the caliper slightly. While I'm here, I just want to point out this here. Soft and hard settings for the suspension. It's simply a screwdriver. Let me see if I can find it. If you buy a GS, it will give you a setting on the dashboard so that you can adjust the suspension for different conditions. On these, you adjust them manually with a screwdriver. I wound them up and made them harder for the road so that when I was going in and out of roundabouts, when I was decelerating, accelerating, with the luggage on, it wasn't as wobbly. It's very easy and straightforward. It's in the Suzuki manual, it tells you how to do it. One at the bottom here, and there's one at the top here, and that's it for the front forks. I'm looking here. Next thing, I fabricated this rack myself. It's a rear rack off a scooter, and it used to have a bit that comes around there which I've sawn off, and this is top of a chair. I can put luggage across here, I can put my bedroll across, but equally as importantly, I can mount my sat nav, my GPS there. I can mount various GoPro attachments on it, and it really does work well. Bark busters, I think they're called bark busters. Adjustable mirrors, so for the road, for tree-lined trails, I can adjust that. Currently I've got an additional clutch cable. I've got an additional throttle cable as well here. While I'm at the front, this is a little mount for a map case that slots in there, and I can put a map in and I can see where I'm going on the trails. That there is a double USB power socket for charging phones and GoPros and such like. Next things next are probably this petrol tank. You can't miss the petrol tank. If you're doing the sort of distances, road work that I've been doing, the standard tank is tiny. This tank, I can get 200 miles out of it. I have got fully loaded, just for interest, 72 miles per gallon. I'm not sure whether English gallons and American gallons are the same. On the motorway, on the interstate, on the dual carriageways, I like to cruise at 60 to 65. When I'm fully loaded, when I've got panniers and tent, 60 to 65 feels comfortable for the bike, comfortable for me, and it gives me a little bit extra so that I can overtake if I need to overtake. I've got this oversized engine bash plate to protect it from stones and to protect it if it falls over, to protect the water pump. While I'm here, I have got on both sides, I've got engine casing protectors. Exhaust, I'll quickly do exhaust. It did come with a Boy Racer exhaust. The exhaust it had on it made an absolute racket. I've put a standard system on it because it's quiet and I value the fact that it's quiet. Next, have a look what's next. Foot pegs. I've got oversized foot pegs here. They're absolutely smashing for standing up, for on the trails. Equally, when you're on the road, an oversized foot peg means you can sort of shuffle your foot around and avoid cramp and avoid discomfort. Suspension adjustment. Here's more suspension adjustment for the rear, and then down here there's another one. Down here I have put lowering suspension links. These suspension links do lower it. How it works is it lowers the saddle height, it doesn't lower the ground clearance height. Here, I think it might be a PT rack. It's designed for soft luggage, designed for throw-overs, and it's excellent. What it did, however, do was, you can see here that there's a burn mark and you can see a bit missing. I've put in this extra bar here, so I've got a PT rear rack onto which I've put some, these are stainless steel screw threads so that I can screw my top box on. At the back here I fabricated a little tiny bracket onto which I've put a lock. Very conscious that these bikes are so sought after. If you've got a lock, if it's always on the bike, you're going to use it. This is a good one. Seat concepts. I rode down and did the England to Spain trip with a standard seat, and it was atrocious. This concept seat here is a good inch wider and 2 inches over perhaps a 7-inch in the beginning is quite a big percentage. This particular seat is worth its weight in gold. There's another engine protector around here. This is where the front sprocket is. I fabricated a little tiny aluminium cover. The idea being that the grit and muck that collects behind there can fall out easier, can get washed out easier. On this output shaft, you've got a oil seal, and there's also a little metal, it's like, almost like an oversized wedding ring type thing. It's made out of mild steel, and what happens is it rusts away. You're not aware it's rusting away, and then all of a sudden it chucks its engine oil everywhere. You need to replace the mild steel metal fitting for a stainless steel fitting. Another PT rack. There's obviously no heat here, so that one didn't need modifying. I have made an aluminium plate here. Onto the aluminium plate I've bolted a tool roll which fits there quite neatly, and inside here I keep my tyre levers, brake levers, tools, and all those sort of accessories and bits that you need when you're out on a trail. Okay, I'm sure there's things I've forgotten. Let's have a look. Top 3 things. I almost want to make it 4. That oversized front brake for me on the road with luggage is superb. This front rack for carrying lightweight luggage and having your communications and your GPS and sat nav on is absolutely excellent. Tank, if you're going to do road work, you'd need an oversized tank. Oversized seat, oversized saddle, that's excellent. Thanks a lot for watching. DRZs, DRZs, it's a very good bike. You know, it's very fit for purpose. You can ride it on the road distances, you can ride it on the dirt distances. I really like my DRZ. Hopefully you get as much fun out of yours as I do out of mine.